What's up, YouTube? It's Pearson here again with my friend Andrew. And today, tonight, we're going to talk about relationships.
Relationships. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how could that guy on the left with that crazy hair, that's like not really do anything, how could he know anything about relationships? And the answer is, we all have a little bit of experience with relationships, where it be acceptance, rejection. And here's the thing. I guess we better start out with rejection, because, everyone's going to get rejected.
Yeah, rejection's kind of a
Even
part of life.
Pearson here. Pearson
I know,
gets rejected.
How can you expect this to get rejected? But there are girls who, they just don't like this. And I'm like, what? This really? But, it happens.
Yeah. Happens to me, too. And yeah. I'm a little bit easier to see. And, it's just how it is. Some of us aren't as lucky as Pearson. But
Well,
anyways.
So rejection. Specifically, we'll start with the friend zone.
The friend zone?
The friend zone.
The friend zone is like, I'd almost rather be like, just the girl come out and be like, man, you're not the goods.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the friend zone, because it's just like this, like, you're climbing this mountain on the relationship ladder, and you're just a hard slope, and then she's like friend zone, you're just like, and it doesn't do anything. And you're like, man, I'm like into improvement. You can't improve the friend zone because she has set the bar.
Friend zone's a hard place to get out of.
So yeah, what do you think about the friend zone?
So the friend zone. Well, we've been watching and reading a lot of stuff, and what we've kind of come up with is the friend zone. Here's how the friend zone happens. So for those of you who think that you're getting friend zoned because you're too nice, or just because something was wrong with the girl, or whatever, it's not like that. Here's how it is. As much as people say opposites attract, they really don't. People like to find someone who's like them, so that they have like commonalities, and so they, and then obviously a little difference is good, because you don't want like a carbon copy of yourself. You want someone who's like you, has some of the same interests, but can also bring a little bit of their own flavor to the relationship. But then in your friends, you look for someone who's a lot different. So when they say opposites attract, they're more talking like friends, like Andrew and I, for instance.
Yeah.
We like running, but as a whole, we're really different people, which is cool as friends, because
makes for a great show.
Exactly, because I bring in my personality and my humor, and he brings in his personality.
I bring the milk.
And there you go, and then we make milk chocolate when you put it
it's
together.
Just tasty goodness.
And so so it's like with your friends, you like someone who's different than you, so you have these different experiences. And so with girls, I think, and I guess even with guys who friend zone girls, is they find someone who they like as a person. They like as a friend, but they're just so different that they bring that like awesome, awesome mix to the friendship. But as a relationship, they would just be so different. They would disagree on so much. Mm-hmm. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, like Pearson and I, if you're into the same gender, that's cool. We don't judge here on this show.
We're not about that life.
No. But like for me and Pearson, I love Pearson. Pearson's the homie. But Pearson and I together like that just like wouldn't work. So you got to look at it like that as a friend zone. If you get friend zoned by a girl, maybe you think she's attractive, but she might not see that in you. So if the juices aren't flowing, friend time.
Yeah. And
I think if you're just not into the same stuff, if there's no clicking, there's no, but you just enjoy hanging out together, friend zone's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, like honestly, having female friends can be like the best thing for you, because then
she has more friends.
Exactly. So once you realize that there's nothing between you two, you can use her to your advantage. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean she can hook you up with her friends. She can help you talk to other girls. She could be your wing woman. She can give you advice when you're in a relationship. Like, there's just so much that can come from a guy-girl friendship that, it can work.
Yeah.
You just have to let it.
And, when we say use, she could use you too. And I mean, not use in a bad way, but, like you have other guy friends. So, like, maybe a girl that's not very into me might be into Pearson or vice versa. So,
And when you hook her up with one of your friends, that's one less guy to compete with for the rest of the girls.
Yeah. See,
so it's a win-win all around.
Friendzone is not bad. And while we're on the topic of friendzone, let's talk about how we are attracted to people. What is attraction? What is, I talked about the build. What builds up to, the crush, the like, the really like, the like, I want to be with you all the time, to the love, committed love, and then long-term 50-year marriage love.
Well,
what happens to that? What would you say the main ingredient there? What is the first thing that gets people to kind of start that spark, Pearson?
Well, here's the thing. I
think it starts with an A. What do you think?
With an A?
Yeah. No, Pearson, not that one. Attraction. Yes, attraction.
My bad. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it depends on what level you're looking at. If you're looking at it from a biological standpoint, attraction is literally about finding the person who looks the healthiest and that would produce the healthiest offspring with you. That is what biological attraction is.
Now, girls, don't get too weirded out. We're talking biological. So, that's like deep in the Neanderthal primordial part of us. But, like, it's not a conscious thing unless you're like a creepy dude that's just like, boom, babies. You don't want that. Okay? So.
But then it goes, you have to look at the 21st century society now. We're not so wrapped up about, finding that person to produce kids with right away. First, you go through the stages. You're young and you want to have fun before you start thinking about settling down. So you don't really find that person that, has the health things. You're just looking for someone that you can have fun with, that you find attractive in the sense that they're cute to you. They have, the features you like and the personality you like. And then you're just like, you're cool. Let's date. And then eventually...
The physical and the emotional and interest features that you have, like we said. Maybe you both like running or playing baseball or playing video games, or you like going to goth concerts, whatever your cup of tea is. And then, you both think each other, like, look good. And then you have the same sort of emotional things. Like maybe you guys are both crazy and like bipolar. Or maybe you guys are just like really chill and stuff. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. But, the craziness issue, that's another topic for another video.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But attraction.
Attraction.
So, when girls are attracted to men, or when men are attracted to women, which, I don't see any women. Okay. Well, you guys are just going to have to deal with men for now. Like we said, we don't judge on this show. Anyway. So, when someone wants another person let's talk about lust, Pearson. What is lust? What's the difference? Okay, let's define our things. We'll talk about crushes, lusts, love. First, let's start off with the crush. I think it all starts with the crush. If you're going for the lust, you gotta have the crush first for that 30 seconds before you do that whole crazy bar scene.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about?
So I would say a crush is almost like an insta shot of love. It's kind of like you see a person, you find them attractive, you feel like you're in love with them for that, that little bit of time. but you can't really call it true love because you don't actually know them. And that would be a crush. That crush then, if you're at that age, would turn into lust, which you forget all the emotional side and you're just like, I want to sleep with that chick because she is hot and I am, Yes.
Lust is a lot more
physically driven.
Physical, primitive, monkey-like.
Yeah.
It's very it's deep-rooted. I feel like a lot of our primitive men were very lustful. Think pharaohs, European kings, lustful people. Okay, and then we move on to the liking stage. And in the liking stage, there might be a little bit, you're obviously physically attracted to these people. And then, but you also have emotional ties as well.
Yeah, like liking's kind of like, it's like being friends without being in the friend zone. Because,
Yes.
You get along, you have
You're
all
on the
this fun
slope.
together, but you still are able to escalate emotionally.
You
So
don't kiss your friends.
there you go. So, you kiss them, you have that passion. We just can't call it love yet because you just don't fully know them yet.
Yeah.
And so it's still just liking. And then love is when you get to that point where the emotional pistons are just firing at full blast, everything's in fifth gear. And it's where it's all emotionally driven. You can have the love without having the physical sex and whatever, and that can kind of, come into it. But the love is deeply rooted, and it can go forever. Like a slow burning candle. It's just always there. It can dim, but it'll never fade.
Very poetic.
Thank you.
And like we said, there's no... People like to put timetables on love, like they're going to be like, oh no, I'm not going to fall in love for, 6 months. But, there's different timetables. Now, 2 weeks, I don't think that's it's probably not love. It's probably a little bit of like and a lot of lust.
That's true.
Be careful. Don't do anything crazy. Don't bring people into the world that are not meant to be brought into it just yet. And with that, and then we have two types of love. We have the love of boyfriend and a girlfriend who are thinking of getting married, and then we have the love of the 80-year-old couple who's been married for 50 years.
That's true.
So if they're 80, probably more like 60 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, there's that, the boyfriend-girlfriend love is kind of that new love. It's very emotionally filled, but it's also physically driven. They have that passion with the emotional connection, and you put that together, and that's what young love is. So it is real love. It is, I would say it is real. If it is actually real, it is real. But it's a lot different than the 80-year-old love, because that 80-year-old love is all about, it's a retrospective love. It's almost like you love them because you've loved them for so long. You've gone through all this stuff together that you just can't see yourself without them anymore because you haven't been without them for so long. And they're just, they're that rock that's kind of kept your life steady.
I agree. So, what it takes, people, is time and experience. Don't jump into it. The whole reason that men and women got together in the first place was so that they could have a family and a stable unit that allows a group to love together and to bring people up in a good situation where they're able to feel love and do the things they need to do and grow as people. So make sure the next time that girl friend zones you, you say, well, wasn't meant to be then. She's still my friend. I'll live.
And there are plenty of fish in the sea, so don't give up just yet. You'll find someone.
Okay.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Boop, boop.